Your content, it's very recognizable, right? Like it has like such a look. Like I can be scrolling on Instagram and like I'll know when I see your images, you know? For content creators out there who are kind of looking to have a specific vibe and have that kind of, I don't know, like recognizable brand, if you will, what are the tips you can give them?
There are a couple ways you can do that. So my whole thing always has been like storytelling. So I love content where it's like, okay, this is like capturing not just the outfit, but like the space of where I am, and like everything tells this like full story.
Yeah.
And like it's gonna last like longer than just 5 seconds, and you know, like that kind of content to me just like speaks volumes. So that's like always my focus, even more so than like editing or anything else. It's more about like the concept. For me, like for the brands that I work for, like they appreciate that, and that's something that like I get paid for because that's like my focus. So, you know, kind of think about like that, like if you know you're somebody that wants to work with brands as a photographer, as a content creator, whatever it is, like be thinking about, you know, that part of the concept. Or like with editing, I think editing's like the easiest way. Obviously, like I think we go through so many trends on social media, and I've been there for them all, and I think like it's easy to want to just like follow everyone else's trend. But if you can kind of figure out a way to like find something that speaks to just your page, whether it's like your color story or like the way that you know, like I always say, if it's like not broken, don't fix it. Like if you have an idea that works, like repeat it and like use it as something that's like a part of your brand. Like whether that's, you know, on Monday you're doing like wellness every time, or you're like always are doing a food type of thing on Fridays because like people really respond well to that and you can speak to that and it's something you're passionate about. Like people like kind of having something
to go back to.
Yeah. And so I think that's like a great tip to like make a part of your brand.
I love that. That's actually really, really smart. Tell me about your process for content creation. Like you love storytelling, and like, I mean, your pictures, it like really does translate. It looks like like an editorial spread every single time. Like, do you go scope out locations ahead of time? Like, do you know, pick your outfits out? Like, what does that whole process look like?
I mean, it used to be a lot more in depth, to be honest. Like a couple of years ago, I had quite a bit more time. Now that we're having so many different businesses, this is not as easy as it was. So I do have to work a little quicker sometimes these days. But if I'm working with clothes or whatever it is, I definitely think like, okay, who would be wearing this? What would they be doing? Like, who's the girl in this vibe? Even if it's like me, or if it's, you know, something I'm kind of like dreaming up, like I definitely think about that. Every time I drive around, I have like a full thing of notes of like, oh, cool location on like the corner of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And like I take a photo, put it in the notes, because it is so hard to, like when you have to work quick, you're like, I can't remember where that was. And then you're getting a little bit of anxiety, like this is not going to turn out cool because I'm under so much pressure. So I feel like having like a backup of locations is very helpful.
So smart.
Like number one. And then also like I always, if you're somebody that, I mean, I seem very confident in photos, but to like truthfully, if people are like walking by and it's busy and all that, I'm like overwhelmed. So I shoot really, really early in the morning, like 6 a.m. Then no one's around. I'm like, it's peaceful out, you know, the lighting is good. So I feel like find your times of day to shoot that work for you, and that way you kind of like know that's going to be a part of your day, and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever else you need to do.
So smart, actually. I love that location tip. Like, I think that it just saves a lot of anxiety when you're in a pinch.
Yeah, no, and then you can like reuse the location, you know, you can go back, you remember where it was.
It's true.
So, you know, just drive around, grab a smoothie, mark some locations. It'll be helpful, I promise.
I like that. Like, what's your, I guess, organization process? Like, do you batch photos? Do you have like a day that you're shooting? Like let's get into the nitty gritty in that sense.
I'm the least organized person on the planet, so I'm gonna throw that out. I mean, I have my messy, organized way, but I think most people would say it's not organized. But like with photos, I mean, I definitely keep everything on a hard drive. So I just upload everything to like folders on a hard drive. So helpful. Couldn't survive without that. And then on my phone as well, because I'm constantly sending so many photos to my phone. So I feel like your phone photos can get out of whack quick. So the second you send them, or you have like a batch of photos, highlight them, put them in a folder, and like name the folder, so you can always like find them again. because I feel like otherwise you're gonna lose track. And like I feel like some people don't know this, but on an iPhone you can search your images, right? Like you can you can go to your photos and you can search at the top. So you could search like flowers or coffee.
Excuse me?
Or whatever, and it'll pull up like any photo that has a flower in it.
What? Wait, where?
Okay, so go to your search. Okay, over here, search.
Yeah.
And then up at the top.
Like flower.
Type it in.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's life changing.